So we are we are studying, learning, and doing the practice of Eastern wisdom. So this Eastern wisdom, you study physics, material phenomena. You study biology, physiological, biochemical changes in the body. You study economics, finance. We should be very clear that Eastern wisdom, when we study, it is for the freedom, fearlessness, removing a sense of incompleteness. And there is a perception of one reality. The time should come when you look at the world outside, it does not attract your attention. Why? Because it is false. It is false. You instantly recognize pleasure versus peace. So then comes the freedom and fearlessness. Think. You need to contemplate and reflect on this. This does not happen. This does not happen. Why it does not happen? Because we have to become the highest level of a seeker. Did you pay attention that you wake up in the morning and we wake up to the same world outside? And in that world, I don't see that peace and happiness. I don't see the love and wisdom. So, where the mind is settled, the mind is settled in the real self. That is the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. So, we have many models to work on. You have already understood the model of three bodies, five sheath, illusion, delusion, three illnesses of the mind. These are different models to point out that real self is here and now, and it is of the nature of permanent peace and happiness. So now the seeker is totally absorbed. Your honey becomes angry. What is your response? You lose some money. What is your response? See that. You lose some money, you want to earn money, you go to the economics, learn marketing, do it again. But don't lose, if you do not lose that sense of peace and happiness in you, then you are a seeker. You remind yourself, oh, no, peace is my essential nature. I am settled in the real self that is already within me. So when that happens, and when that does not happen, ignorance. When that happens, knowledge. But if we see that, let I have done many practices with you, and then it is possible, but still I miss it. So I miss because you have an answer. I miss that peace and happiness because my mind is still searching peace and happiness outside. Again, go for the cause because the knowledge in the intellect is there. We have understood, but it has not descended to the heart. Head to the heart and to the belly means the center of action. Center of action is karma. Karma means action. Action means how I think, speak, and act in my personal, professional, social, and family lives. Randy, you're contemplative. Think of this. If we do not think, then what happens? There is a big gap between the ideal and the practice. I understand what you say. I like listening to you, but still no change is taking place because the mind still keeps that idea, that understanding, that peace and happiness are outside in the world. That is why I requested and pleaded that you need to apply this Eastern wisdom and their principles in daily life and living. If we do not apply, then yes, weekly we get some peace and relaxation and calmness, but ultimate transformation will not take place. Are you getting it? Apply that knowledge of the Eastern wisdom the moment you perceive your honey world outside. Let me start with the peace inside. So we need to apply these principles in thought, in speech, in action 24 by 7. So, what it means now that knowledge is descending into the mind, into the heart, and the heart is applying these principles in emotional freedom, not in emotional dependence, not in attachment and detachment. And when that happens, even if you apply once, I can tell you, even if you apply once, the heart expands. You feel the sense of that calmness and peace in you. You get a glimpse of that real self. But who will tell the mind shies? Mind has a shyness and timidness and a fear, and the mind has impulsive nature. I have to settle a score with my dad or honey or parents or friends. Those thought immediately returns. Have you noticed? The moment you have to settle a score with someone and you see he is in or she is in front of you, the mind returns with the old habit, old pattern. Why? The mind is seeking peace and happiness outside. That is what we are working. And again, you see the different models of Eastern wisdom. We say impurity, we say three bodies, we say five sheet, we say the three states. We are none of the three states. So I'm not a waking state and I see you, but my mind changes. It means I do not maintain my awareness. The mind returns with the past impressions and it causes the problem. Then I say I am worthy of suffering. I believe you all understand this now. So if the mind manifests that impurity, we have the tools. Now we have learned the tools, the power of discernment and then dispassion, then the six treasures. We know the fourfold connection. and the mind, intellect instantly connects those, and you can find you are instantly away, instantly free from that hesitation, that anger, that duality, that conflict. Instantly. There is no anger management as such. I don't see. You manage anger, it comes up again. Manage means that you cannot treat it 100%. That is what is known as management. You have to continue to manage. That needs to be understood in our daily life. We have an intellect, we are intelligent to understand these principles. We are doing the practice, we experience the change after the practice, and still we are not able to keep the state of the peace and the calm and happiness all the time. It is only because the mind has or still searching that impurity in the name of a pleasure, in the name of the pain, claiming that I'm worthy of suffering outside. So this is what our masters talks about, that I have yet to purify this mind to become a seeker at the highest level. Again, I have told you that it is the inner honey that declares I have understood. There is no other means to understand except the inner honey. Then what should we do? Why we fall, nor do not have the permanent peace and happiness? Why the inner honey claims I succeed, and then the same honey makes us frustrated? So last week we understood that sense of limitation, limitedness is created by this inner honey, that ego. Did you understand that ego? Outer situation, I see it. Inner interpretation, I give. Mind gives the interpretation. So, outer situation, outer perception, inner perception in the mind, that both together they create the inner honey. It does not exist. I'm 63. I'm limited by time. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm limited by space. See that? How many years I will live? I'm referring to the body, the time. So I'm scared. Limitedness. There are many limitations: sensory limitations, emotional limitations, mental limitations, physical limitations, intellectual limitations. But the reality is that I'm none of them. I'm not the body. I'm not the three bodies. That is why we have created this model. Our masters have created this model to understand. In the following sessions, we will make our mind settle in the knowledge by understanding that what exactly is not self. If your mind is 100% clear that what is not self and I am not myself, I'm not this unreal self, the false self, the mind will settle into the real self. And that is why our master says that the knowledge is realized in stages, step by step. We have to pick up everything. One of my friend recently texted me that I picked up couple of your videos, and now I understand I'm already in peace. I said, thanks to you. Live into that peace. That is why I cover little knowledge is dangerous. Another way to understand, we need a mature mind. A mental maturity is required all the time. You're watching a horror film, huh? You feel the scared, and behind that sense of the fear, there lies the real self. I'm simply watching the images on the TV screen and I'm scared. I lose that sense of awareness. Why I lose the sense of awareness? The mind is engaged, involved in the world outside. People always, every week, on LinkedIn, they say, I'm a great influencer, 50,000 followers. You are an influencer, why you have approached me? I asked that question. I don't want to be an influencer. My master used to say that even if I can send a message to one person, my job is done. Why should I not stick to this? Come back to the main topic, karma. I have been saying think, speak, and act in personal, professional, social life by applying these principles. And that is the that is the principle of karma yoga. Karma is action. Think in like this. Action should be right and proper. Yoga is our inner mental state. It should be right, good, and proper. It becomes karma yoga. Karma yoga, action. Action means thought, speech, and physical action. Is it right? Is it proper? Is it good? But that action will be right, proper, and good only when the inner state of the mind is also right, proper, and good. So it means we have to check the state of the mind. Is it right or good? But before action, pay attention, before action, if the state of the mind is dictated by the ego and seeking the fruits of an action from the world, it is polluted. Did you understand? No, let me elaborate it in a simple way. Why we perform an action? We have a motivation. I will know that Sam will ask this. No, we always have a motivation for action. Can you have a motivation to evolve yourself in all the situations, in all the conditions of life? One option. So it means when you want to evolve, when you want to rise into the higher consciousness, your focus is on action only. Then there is a second option. My motivation is to get some money. So it means the inner honey starts working. My motivation is to receive appreciation from all of you. So my focus on the right action, good action, disappears. And the delusion takes place. And that is the problem. Did you get it? That is what the karma yoga is. Mind has many options. Let me prove how much I know while speaking, while making a presentation to you all. One option. That is what happens. We try to rationalize how we are right, how you are wrong, how I can impress you. That is what the marketing is. Three options. One, action comes out of the inner honey. Action comes out for the motivation for a result, and the action Action is motivated to evolve. Motivated to evolve. Let me do my best in a particular situation. Dad is angry, so let me speak what is best. What do you think? Honey is agitated, let me do my best. No, I will do it. No, he is angry, so I will also become more angry. If that is the way to do the best, then we are not learning. Think, just think of it. If you have doubt, you can ask the questions. Action. Before the action, there is a thought, and before the thought, there is a sensation or awareness. If the sensation comes from the mind, that is impulsive, that is instinctive, that is habitual, inner honey is at the highest level. So that friend of mine said, "No, I have listened to sessions or 3 sessions, and then I taught few people. Now I learned what you say." I said, "I'm good. You're good. I appreciate you." So this is what is known as, I told you, action, thought. Thought contains the knowledge because knowledge gives you the desire to act, and then we act. But I have to understand, is this knowledge is right, good, and proper in any situation? And if the right knowledge is there, you have an emotional maturity, you have an emotional freedom. When? All the time. All the time. Then what happens? The mind focuses on the real self. You do not find the attachment. You do not see the dependence for anything, dependence for money, dependence for love. Then you are in the mode of self giving. I want to give you a little deeper experience. In the mode of a self giving, existence is always in the mode of self giving. Do you see that? That's what we see then, trees who have lot of fruits, they fall down, they bend down. They do not remain very straight like a ego. The existence is in the mode of a self giving. Why I say so? My mind also moves in the mode of a self giving. In that state, the real self is realized. Are you getting it? Existence is in the mode of a self giving. Those concepts in religion of charity, of paying, all those have been created for primary level of a seeker. Primary level of a seeker. Very primary. Mundane seekers. Those who cannot understand these higher principles. What is the higher principle? Existence is always in the mode of a self giving. If the mind moves into the mode of a self giving, the mind has nothing to lose, mind has nothing to hold, there is no emotional dependence, there is no immaturity, and in that state, that mind realizes that all is real self. Reverse this process, limitedness, I fall back into ignorance, limitedness because of immaturity, because of delusion, because of emotional dependence, and then I continue to suffer. This is the message. This is the message Master gives us in this. Another logic in the reasoning that the Master, real self, is not changing. It is unchanging. It is not the property. It is not the product uh, of anything. It is pure consciousness. We understand. So where lies the problem? Is the problem lies in the real self? No. Problem is not lying in the real self. Then what is Eastern wisdom? It is the means of knowledge to realize the real self. So it means when I understand it 100%, I'm there, but the knowledge is realized in stages. That is what we are doing. But so means of knowledge is also right. Why it is right? Tradition continues for the last almost 10,000 years. Great masters have reached to that state. So it means the means of knowledge is also right. Real self is also right. Then where lies the problem? I am a seeker or not. I am a seeker or not. Do you see that? So why I should have a problem? When the mind claims I am worthy of suffering, drop it. No, I'm a seeker. I'm a seeker. So what the seeker has to do, seeker has to follow 2L, CRP, and 60. 2L, listening and learning. Oh, so there means that means of the knowledge is not fully rightly absorbed. Rightly absorbed by me, by my mind. Now I have done, practices with you for so many years, but there is no change. Hence, I'm leaving you. Leave it. We do not become aware. Where lies the problem? Why we do not become aware? Again, I'm impressing. Why we do not become aware? Mind, impulsive nature, habitual nature. There are certain areas in the mind that do not want to change. It wants to keep its habit, impulsive, instinctive nature. Then what happens? Then I become worthy of suffering. I declare that I am worthy of suffering. And then I drop this journey. So you see that based on that, why our masters have passed on this wisdom. Some people have a sense of curiosity. Oh, you're talking of permanent peace and happiness. That's not possible. I have 20 years of experience. 1 year of experience repeated 20 times. We don't look into this. We have the same experience. We are doing the same thing. We are living at the same level. So these people are curious people. His coach wife asked me that I don't understand why people are with you even after 10 years or 20 years. I did not respond anything. I remained calm. You are not a seeker, simple answer. But if I say to her that you are not a seeker, she will be annoyed. And that will add another impression into her emotional dependence. So it is better to skip. That is what masters do. Second category, one is curiosity. Second category is that of the people, they want to do an intellectual exercise. They want to know about freedom and permanent peace, but they don't want to practice. They don't want to apply in their daily life. They don't succeed. And third category, they are the highest level of a seeker. Whatever they learn, they listen, they contemplate and reflect, and they want to see that whether this knowledge is applied in personal life, in professional life, in social life, in family life. All the time, all the time, during the waking state. And if that happens, the life changes from the day one. Then what happens? For the highest level of a seeker, the knowledge takes place naturally. Why naturally? Because you understand that knowledge. Now the intellect retains the knowledge. Because it retains the knowledge all the time, that knowledge starts being realized by the mind through karma yoga, through my thought, speech, and action, and the life changes. Yes, next following sessions, we will work deeply on what exactly is not self that we carry all the time with us. And we take it for granted that it is real. So let us start our journey. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. And higher practice. So why the higher practice? I said close your eyes, let the mind is facing within, and body is steady. Your mind is so quick. Many people have shared that experience, and that is what I love. That the moment your mind instantly withdraws from the physical body, why it withdraws? It is not interested in anything outside. Why it is not interested in anything outside in the world? Because that word is mithya, the false, the word of name and the form. That makes, that helps you to become aware of the sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the body. So we are not the beginners to explain you what exactly is comfort and at ease, why the body is constantly moving. No, 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 not required. The mind lives into the higher awareness. You're not holding the body. Why? Body is the servant of the mind. The mind is facing within. See that brings the level of comfort and ease. Now look at the model. I said three bodies. Mind dictates the body, and that dictating the body is through impulsive, instinctive, and the habitual nature. One option. Mind takes over the body by raising awareness of the body. To raise the awareness of the body in Hatha Yoga, we have the practice of asanas. You can bypass that. If you are the highest level of a seeker, you need not to. Or you may pick up one or two or three asanas. Then being carefree, free from all the cares of the mind. Why the mind cares and how it cares? One is impulsive, instinctive, reflex action, habitual. You are aware so much so that the mind has left caring you, living in awareness. It means what? Thoughts are coming and going. Let the thought come and go. Who cares? Traffic, you're standing across the road. Means what? That means you step back. You step back. You're looking, body is continuously changing. It will still change. Who knows? Some past impression will dictate over the body. You lose that aware. It's okay. You return again. So we introduce the mind, the thought again in the form of a mantra in order to bypass those past impressions. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Let everyone be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Knowledge is let everyone be happy. I will introduce that principle in the following sessions, but I'm talking about that simple way. There is a trinity. I am as an individual. The world is universal consciousness, and the real self is transcendental consciousness. It's a trinity. Now, instead of trinity, we say aham and idam. We move to the two-factor principle. It's again a model. What is matter and what is consciousness? We are consciousness. The rest is the matter, whether it's a body, mind, intellect, thought, feeling, sensation. And from the dual model, we find the real self. There is only one real self. There is only one pure consciousness. So here this mantra says, Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Let everyone be happy. It means the happiness is only one, common to all. That's why we all are seekers of happiness. This kind of a contemplation and reflection, what it will do? It will bypass what is delusion. Sarve santu niramaya. Say it in your mind. It's better to say in your Sarve santu niramaya. You see, from 3 to 2 to 1. Beautiful, one of the most beautiful principles. Understanding from trinity to duality to only one reality. The state of the well-being is common. Seeking the state of the well-being is common to all the living beings who are conscious, who have the consciousness. Here the mind becomes mature. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Meaning, let everyone be blessed. Now look at it, our selfish mind, limited mind, says I should be living in the state of well-being, not my enemies. Who takes care? Who worries about the neighbors? Again, you see that you drop that duality. There is no neighbor. Existence is blessing all of us all the time. That's why we are alive here and now. Stick to that knowledge. We are alive only because of the blessing of the existence. It means the existence is blessing all of us at every moment in our life. Can we recognize? We can recognize in the purified state of the mind, not in impure mind. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavid, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavid, kaschid dukha bhag bhavid. Let none suffer from any misery in this world. Just think of the state of the mind in line with the mantra. That mind who thinks like this is full of kindness and compassion. You cannot practice compassion. You allow the mind to manifest compassion. Do you see that? We'll pick up one active step that we did it last time. Look inside the forehead in the space. Pick a point in the space. Pick a point in the space inside the forehead. And at that point, you start hammering the mantra mentally. Quick, fast, in the loud. What is quick, fast, in the loud? The mantra. Where in your mind? Nobody is listening, but you listen. It is so fast, quick, and loud that you do not have a single thought in your mind other than the aim. What you will discover two things. The mind is hammering aim, and you will discover, and the second thing is the infinite space envelops you completely. Now stop this hammering, just an experience of sensation, relaxation, and stillness, a sense of calmness. The mind keeps living within. Living within means what? It is aware of the infinite space or the state of the calmness, and still you can see the lot of thoughts are there in the mind, but too far. It is too far to disturb you. Kind of separation. So when we experience that state, one day the mind realizes no thought is mine. Let us look inside the heart in this space at any point and start hammering the same mantra. Quick, fast, and loud. Let us see what happens. you will discover that physical body dries out all the past impressions that causes the trigger in the body to move it. Or you may find another experience. We find the tingling sensation, the numbness, the body freezes down. There is a sudden change. The mind or the body experiences an upsurge of heat in the cold. Because the mind is not able to influence the subtle body, if I say, is not able to influence the physical. What happens? The mind is living within. That is how we enrich our experience in the journey. Very good. Stop this, do nothing, and let us check your level of awareness. The mind keeps living within. You have the thoughts, I'm telling you. Don't try to suppress and control. But these thoughts and the feelings are too far from you to disturb you, to take over you. Means what? You have taken over the mind. That needs to be, and that is what I talked in the very beginning, the world outside when you wake up in the morning. And then look inside the belly button in the space at a point, start hammering, same way mental hammering of thing. You're able, you can see the separation of the infinite space on which the hammering is taking place. So when that takes place, the mind continues to move within, getting absorbed deeper inside. We change these practices in order to keep the mind living within. The mind leaves all its past knowledge. It is ready to explore deeper within. And in that stately, stop this also and start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Nyasa only in the spine. As you inhale, the mind moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally Om Shanti. Shanti stops at the tailbone as you exhale. Your mind sings, oh, mind rises from the tailbone to the crown of the head, it stops, Shanti. So space is there, highways there. Om Shanti continues. And you can see that the physical and the subtle body is able to maintain sensation, relaxation, and stillness, calmness, and quietness within. The mind is singing mentally, but it has a direction. It moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone with a deep silent and slow breathing. And your deep silent slow breathing is at the level of total comfort. You don't push too much based on your level of awareness. You don't find any disturbances, any kind of hesitation, push or pull, and you are aware of the space within. That is going to help us. And now stop this nyasa. We keep a semi-passive step, moving the mind inside the cave of your heart. As the mind moves into the cave of your heart, mentally sing Om. When the Om ends, become aware, the mind seemingly stops. Shanti. And just maintain your awareness there. Discover it opens up to the infinite space. All the three bodies are almost left. Other experiences begins based on our individuality. The moment any thought comes, you recognize that it has to do with the word, not self outside, and you do it again once on. And then Shanti, and after that, nothingness. Om Shanti simply means you are declaring that I am the Om, means I'm the real self, I'm the pure consciousness. Peace is oozing out of it. No, do nothing. Doing nothing means you are aware of a state. What is that awareness of a state? One thing is clear that we are not the false self. Three bodies, five sheets, neither the waking dream. That awareness is settled. Why? Because the mind merges with the real self. I'll recite the mantra to deepen the practice, then we will share our experiences. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Was good. Little heavier for me today, but worked through it.
Good, good. How are you, Stephen?
Good. That was quite a deep meditation. I don't recall any thoughts. I was absorbed in each moment, in each uh, guidance of your voice. And the only thing that stood out to me is that I've sweat coming down me. My body is so warm.
Yeah, yeah. I think I explained that when the mind merges into the real self, it has an instant upsurge of the variety of experiences, and that is what happened. Beautiful. Brandy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. My that I really needed this practice today. It was really relaxing and deep for me, and I had at first I had a lot to kind of clear through, but I got through it pretty quickly and got absorbed.
Good. Whenever you need, just call me.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very good. Very, for me, very simple, very fast, very deep. Um, I said at the beginning, I'm not going to allow my thoughts create impurity in my mind, and I just stayed there.
We should think like this. We don't think, we think otherwise. I have a lot of thoughts and I'm into anxiety today. No, bypass. So when you think, means it's a kind of resolve. We miss it. That is the topic that I covered today. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, just completely absorbed. I just completely absorbed. There really was nothing. I had no expectation, no desire, nothing going on really. There were obviously things going on, but nothing disturbing.
That's a beautiful state. Beautiful state. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very deep, very no thoughts, nothing at all. Only
Beautiful.
your voice was, and I was little bit more aware today. Means
More
sometimes I feel little sleepy in between, but today there was nothing like that. Total
beautiful.
awareness was there during the whole practice.
Yeah, that's a sign of the progress if sleep does not disturb you. How are you, Webhub?
So it was deep. I was totally absorbed. It's like quiet and peaceful.
See, more or less everyone is saying that everyone is absorbed. That's a good thing. How are you, Anastasia?
Thank you very much. I'm calm, and it was very deep and natural. And today I had a lot of pictures from my childhood and a lot of memories that in the other circumstances would be difficult to remember, I think. But
Yeah.
it was like a movie on the screen, and I was deeply calm.
Calm. That is really good. Yeah. In these practices of meditation, the mind sometimes goes back into the unconscious memories and it retrieves. But if they do not disturb, that's a good thing. You remain a witness. How are you, Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Peaceful and calm, quiet.
Peaceful and calm. Beautiful. Good. How are you, Rakesh?
Thank you, sir. Sir, during the Shanti mantra, suddenly I started feeling like I'm moving ahead in the air. So when I paid attention to it, it stopped. At the end of the session, there was thoughts, but just different from me, means at a distance. And there was the space, dark space. That was the left at the end.
Beautiful. You know what happens when we deepen the practice, we remain a witness to all the thoughts that enters the mind and leaves us. We find that level of awareness. And in that awareness, no thought is able to disturb or please us. And that is definitely a higher state. That is all for today. That's all. Any questions? Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
you.
thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Bye-bye.